people through it as possible, especially if you're going to have all your marshals patrolling.
Yeah.
How many do you have that you want to put through it?
I think we
list?
had a count of 8.
Is that recruits or like rookies?
No,
or
no, it's a mix. So Cole and what the fuck is his name? Wayne are the only 2 that do not have PD experience.
Okay.
Oh, here it is. Nino Tower.
Yeah, the Nino Tower. That's what the N stands for.
Yeah. Then I guess this fucking asshole fucking put N on the damn Vinewood sign too.
What the hell? Wow, he's so egotistical. He made it the Vine Nino wood.
Yeah.
That's too much. That's too much branding.
So actually, let me pull up. I did ask. Myself and Ruth kind of went through the entire roster. Burke, Ruth, search. Where did she put this? November 29th. Oh, do I have a filter on this? I have a filter on this.
Hey, bud, what's the market rate for a short right now? Like brand new. Yeah, fully built. Okay, is Slick Tires still like 85.90? Okay, and then what's the price to do a full set of repairs on stage 5 parts and turbo? Like 7. Oh, it's 750 repair parts. How much would that be?
What's your state ID?
All right, thanks, Ian. I'll be in touch.
1157.
Keep an eye out for a short for me. It's got to get funded through the mayor, but one of the TRT vehicles needs an engine replaced. So keep an eye out for a short, and I'll likely buy it from you at 500K. All right, perfect. Let me know. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, I just shared a report called Marshal Patrol Cert.
All right.
So,
looking. Peters, Hobler, McAllister, Rooker, Adams. Yeah, definitely needs that.
Yep.
Ranger, Shore. Okay.
So
Miguel, Coyote, Antonio, Manuel, Manolo, Diaz. I
Yeah.
could probably use a refresher.
Yeah, I think that's not a bad shout. The way that we did the list, and this isn't like set in stone, right? This is sort of the McAllister for sure, Hobler, Chris. So the first 3 are like, old marshals, and quite frankly, I don't even know what their damn baseline is. And this is a humbling experience for them. For Rooker, she's underrated. Very good. I think she's someone that I would like assisting, mostly to absorb what does an academy look like. So she would be like at your will to do whatever needs to be done.
Okay.
And then we got Norman Adams, Cole, and Wayne, the 3 of which do not have PD experience, like at all.
Yeah, Norwood used to be Justice.
Yes.
Never a cop though.
Now, then you've got Coyote, and I'll explain in a moment why we kind of put him in the decide bit. And then Emilio sort of falls into that same mix. Sean has significant PD experience. And Blunt as well. Blunt, however, needs a different kind of training. Now, I'll sort of chop up what my thoughts were, and then let me know if this is in line, you want to change it or whatever,
okay,
or however you want to kind of chop it up. So I sort of sat back and I'm like, okay, how have we been typically doing academies and then going through the FTO program? How should it look? Now, I spoke a little bit to Crane about this. The stuff that I think can take up a lot of time because it's touching on administrative weird parts of training, like, you know, here's your taser, here's the, you know, here's the locker. Those things, I wanted to get like itemized out and do those on a point-to-point basis, right? So thus removing like maybe half an hour to of an hour of academy off the table. And by and large, because you know, some of that has already been done, like they know how to get tasers, this, that, and the third. But then have the academy focus on all like the bits on, you know, all the other bits. So I'm kind of like thinking back at the last academy we did. And I think that's pretty accurate, right? We spent about like an hour or so on like the weird stuff, right? For lack of a better phraseology, like, you know,
when you say weird stuff, you just mean like the things that are hard to communicate but really need to be communicated.
Exactly.
Basically?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And but and then in terms of like the patrol certification, that is going to be a replacement for what would traditionally be the FTO program. And that bit, you know, we can handle that. I'm, you know, that's like the after stage, which is where, and I'll be taking the existing FTO program that has been used and sort of rebuffing it with things that I find may not be a part of the program yet. So it's likely going to include things like reading the room, you know, why we always interrogate, and, you know, how to be tough without sweaty.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, so
that's what's kind of hard to communicate to people.
Yeah.
So Brian and I were talking about potentially doing like 2 segments to this. Like maybe one of the segments is like an academy and exercises that are focused on teaching, you know, the basics of like what we're going for, whereas maybe to touch on things that, like, you know, for you've been to my academies, Angel, the stuff that I talk about there that I can't talk about elsewhere, maybe doing like a conference call or something for that to kind of separate the two.
Yeah,
as that way we avoid the like this is hard to explain type thing.
Yeah, if that's how you want to do it, that's fine.
Yeah, I can get asked if, you know, if we're good with that, because I know there is a desire for things to be here, but given that it's weird anyways,
yeah,
you know,
I mean, I have no issues
I'll
with...
be honest with you, Knight. Sorry, Angel, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
It really doesn't matter what anyone thinks. We can do things how we choose to. We do the things that actually matter here, and the things that can't be done here, we don't, is how I see it. So
yeah,
there's just some things that I'm not going to say to people here, and it's just better to do that in an avenue that you can, you know?
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah,
but my experience, Knight, just to give you some background, at my academies, every time I've run one, which has been like 10 of them now over the last couple of years or more, because we don't have another jurisdiction of 5 people out to do academy, I have just kind of been treating that as a safe space where I talk to them about the things they need to be talked about.
Okay. I love that.
Yeah.
Even when
but I suggest the Discordia call just because it's a little different for this.
I like that a lot. I think it separates and splits up the timing a bit too. So that way, and you know, well, first off, let me say that while I'm kind of putting forward how I'd like to see it, I want y'all to feel like you have full control over this, right? Like if you think something's a better way to do it, by all means, right? At the end of the day, y'all have run significantly more academies than I have ever. So, if what I'm saying sounds dumb, don't hesitate to tell me.
Yeah, we'll tell you.
I think we're on the same page from what
we'll
we've
fucking
talked
let
about
you know,
so far.
buddy. Don't you worry about it.
Okay.
I think my biggest thing is like I think there's very clearly 2 parallel goals, right? Number 1 is there's a goal of preventing bad behavior. And then the secondary goal or the parallel goal is encouraging the right behavior, right? And those two things are not the same. So I think the talk on the conference call will probably just be mostly centered around preventing bad behavior and kind of helping them to understand how their actions affect other people and blah blah blah. We can get into that later. Whereas the academy that we hold here in the city in person, I believe, should be focused on encouraging them to learn like what we expect in terms of how you should carry yourself on scenes and how you should deal with interrogations, the way that you should talk to people, the switch, you know. One of the biggest things I've been trying to teach people with TRT is, and I've been using that ride along we did night with that drug dealer who picked up that one night as an example, to be like, you know, sometimes guys, it's more important to exchange leniency for general information and camaraderie to build connections with people rather than push every crime, right?
Precisely.
You guys are, you know, you guys are attacking bigger stuff, and you should be leapfrogging the little fish to get to the big ones. So I think that's like a key thing that I think they need to learn. And on top of that, there's some things that I noticed that some PD does and Marshals included right now that I want to get rid of. Like, for example, today we had that crazy chase I was telling you about. At one point, we had a car disabled at Maze Bank. There were 2 suspects that were incapacitated. They were cuffed. People showed up to try to grab them. I had previously assigned another officer to baton on the one person, me on the other. They ended up getting away with one of the suspects. The other one was left there, and eventually we were just going to transport them. But like a minute after the first one was taken, when there were still outstanding interference and the scene was still hot, I look over and I see an LSPD officer like documenting the car. And I'm like, hey man, like both of us have batons out in case someone comes up and tries to take this cuffed suspect. This is a scene where there's multiple outstandings. We're in like a low ground area where we could get jumped on. You need to have a gun out and you need to be focusing on protecting the scene, not thinking about rifling through this guy's pockets and documenting the car, right? Like, and that's the same thing as like a Fleeca, right? People, it's fun. Yeah, you've done it a million times, but the 1% chance that you get ambushed means that every bank, you should at least, the bare minimum, have your gun out, be in a position where you have cover behind your car, maybe set up a barricade, like something, right? And I think that's the kind of stuff that we need to encourage, because the other stuff's pretty easy to prevent bad behavior. It's encouraging the good stuff that I think's harder sometimes.
I
don't know. Those are like my general thoughts.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I'm not trying to find a way to word this. There is, I want, and this is not going to get solved in an academy, right? But it's the start of it. Is an understanding that there's more to policing than apprehension and arrest.
100%.
I want to.
I mean, I could use my. There's and that can be talked about in both conversations, right? Like it's
yes.
There's a lot of ways to look at that.
Yep.
It should be. 1 second.
Hold on, I got shot earlier. I have to write a 2 cents report.
No, I'm looking.
Go for it.
Sorry, guys.
No, you're good. I want to drive a couple examples of some corrections I've done.
Declan?
Yep.
Yo. What's up?
I don't know where it is. Yeah, look for. I put a report together. Yeah, I put a report together. It's in there. It was in the last 2 days. But there's a shotgun. I put it in the number for you. Okay. Yeah, I made it up. So you can just look up. All right, perfect. Yeah,
I think
she. Locker.
Oh, she's on the phone still.
You're so welcome, Carmine. Hey, more than happy to do this kind service for you. No, I helped it, but I okay. Bye, guys.
You're good. You know, sometimes it doesn't seem like someone's on the phone. It's confusing.
Really?
Yeah, because you said Declan. I was like, what?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carmine called me because I got one of his stolen firearms back and I put it in a report, but he couldn't find it because he's a dumbass. So. Yeah, a kind citizen found it and gifted it to me, and I in turn gave them a $20,000 reward for the gun, and it was not a
it was Arnie,
transaction.
right?
It was not a transaction. It was a reward for good behavior.
Was it Arnie or did someone scalp his money?
Yes, it was Arnie.
I found that on him like a week ago.
Well, then I guess there's two of them that he's took from coming.
No, it's the same one.
Oh, but you didn't take it?
It was a very complicated way to explain this. So we had arrested somebody else. Arnie and Jaden showed up to like taunt us. But they had gotten out of the car and Arnie had a warrant. And so Jaden was repairing the car. And I put his hands behind his back while he was repairing the car to fuck with him. And then Arnie tried to rescue Jaden, and then I cuffed Arnie also in a devious way. So then I stole Jaden's food and his oxy and let him go. And then I made Arnie tell me where he had got the shotgun and let him go.
Ruby's calling me now, goddammit.
So
hey,
yeah, I didn't
Ruby?
arrest them. But it worked because they snitched on the race organizers today.
Oh, Leon, huh?
Shit.
Building relationship.
I'm not, but I did put up the charges in a report. Would you be willing to just process him? Just, bill him and send him up? Yeah, I'm willing to... well, no time off. He's an asshole. He went to go play Arc Raiders instead of coming to jail, so... That's right. Tell him I said that. Tell him no time off just for that alone. Yeah, let him know. Let him freaking know. Thank you, Ruby. I appreciate that, Ruby. Thank you. Sorry about that, guys.
You're good. I want to provide some examples of recent correction that I've done. There is, and I think some of these things can be solved in Academy, but it's gonna be like a long running thing. Is there was a interaction. There was like a bomb planted 2 days ago at Mission Row PD. Sean Duncan, who's, I don't know if you guys have interacted with him, but he's exceptionally professional and diligent. He's he responded, went there, bombs ticking, and they saw someone fleeing. So turns out Sean ends up stopping Justice Grayson. And Grayson apparently loses it on him and started carrying out.
No.
And
sorry, I'm not good at covering my shock. My bad.
Oh, I thought you were being serious. Oh. And Sean, no guns pointed. He's like trying to ID him, and Grayson's doing a "do you know who I am" sort of situation. Now I read Sean's report. I then spoke to Grayson. I brought them into the same room, and there were some, let's just say, unnecessary things that were pointed out. I don't know. Grayson was on some dick or something. But I calmed him down. I'm like, hey, professional here. Let Grayson know that, hey, approach Marshals if you have an issue. Appropriate channels. And afterwards, I spoke to Sean and I said, listen, regardless of who it is, right? Whether it's a pissed off criminal or in this case, a justice, the fact of the matter is that what you did was right. If someone's fleeing, it doesn't matter if they're a fucking justice or some other shit. You have the right to identify them, especially if you don't know who they are. When it's a fucking
given
bomb.
the history of like the chief of EMS assisting criminals while on duty, so like
sure,
sorry,
absolutely.
but I don't trust anybody at this point.
And you handled yourself well, except what came out of that conversation was that after Sean had done so, Sean kind of just dipped because I guess the bomb had exploded, and he's scattered. And despite the situation, I told him going forward, hey, understand that sometimes we're going to end up detaining someone that turns out that they're innocent, right? You do nothing, that you're not doing anything wrong with it, but it goes a long way saying, hey, I apologize. There's a serious situation happening. and make sure you identify them so that they can, you know, at least handle that aspect of it, right? So, you know, detain these motherfuckers all you want, but, you know, if they, you know, add throw in the cordialness as well, and then any raging outside of that isn't on you, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Second situation that I resolved recently was we have warrants coming out soon for and I think for Monday or tomorrow. I think Root's gonna reach out to you too, Crane, about it.
Okay.
It's apprehensions. We're gonna get a small team, whatever. And I spoke to Ruth about this, and you know, she's like, okay, these things are ready, and we're gonna go execute these. And I said, before we execute it, I want to make contact with these individuals and ask them to come in for interrogation, right? Now, there is an entire possibility that they may refuse to do so, because that does happen, even if it's more than 50%. But we should always extend that to either add to our evidence, or it may turn out that, you know, what they say puts them in the clear. Either way, that should always happen first. You know, big dick, but no sweat. You know what I mean? So, reason I kind of brought up these examples are, these are kind of some of the things that I want to enlighten, like this space of thinking.
Yeah.
You know, the policing beyond the arrest.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
You basically want us to teach your guys to have some tact. That's really what we're getting at, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Think bigger than what's right in front of you.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, shit, that's the dream, man. We want everyone to think like that, but it's not something you can just teach them. But we'll do our best.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why I think the academy model is fine, because that's half the stuff I deal with at academy, is just trying to get people to think about things the right way. Like, we can teach them in the field the like particulars they don't remember from academy, but the mindset is what we need to focus on the most.
Absolutely.
Like, one of my biggest things to Marshals is like, they should be on patrol, but I always feel like I don't know, it's kind of like,
these guys shouldn't be patrolling very often.
Well, yeah. I just mean, when I see them on patrol, it feels like they're just a third department riding with another department a lot of the time. Whereas I feel like it should be more like, oh shit, there's a marshal here, like, you know, everyone on your P's and Q's, or like the crims are like, oh fuck, like we gotta be careful, you know, like. But right now, because that atmosphere isn't brought by them, it doesn't feel that way, and I think that's one of the things that I want to see change.
We have to face reality too, right? This effort is ultimately going to be too little, too late.
Oh yeah, this is a fan.
I'm gonna be honest, I still get nervous when the marshals show up, and I fucking pounded them.
Yeah,
but
I don't really feel that way.
You have like all the tact in the world.
So,
well, maybe I just understand what a marshal can do, and
you're not a king chasing robot.
So,
sure. Okay.
There's when I how do I put this? I'm not building for today. I'm building for the next couple months.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
Reaching, I think the peak of because I think you understand. I think Angel understands. But there is, let's just say, a very simple-minded thinking of, I'm not, you know, on the outside, right, of that expectation without being able to process the notion that you can't just get there magically, right? The only way to reach that today, if we wanted to, would be to take you, me, Angel, you know, McNulty, pretty much all the people in Start Troopers 2.0, right? That is the only way to get there, like, today. Anything beyond that would be, you know. However, we can get there, right? But that's going to be months from now. And it's going to require a significant amount of training, right? So
the only thing that I have experienced as a significant barrier to that culture shift that we're talking about is that due to whatever reason, there are a lot of people who sometimes, well, it's not, it doesn't happen anymore, but a lot of people will like transfer to LSPD or whatever, and I can't.
I'm not too
like, vouch for
concerned.
how they train, you know what I mean? So it's hard because that culture affects people based on who's around in the shift, you know?
So
It is
I'll
what it
lay
is.
out some things. The way that I went about hiring, each one of these people know that if they fuck around, they're done, right?
Yeah, makes sense. That's good.
I'm not playing nice with, you know, tiers don't affect me, right? You know, if someone's not willing to learn or do what is the job of the marshals, then go fuck off and do something else. But very much even on the onset as a part of the recruitment process, I'm very clearly letting them know that I will beat their ass. Not physically, obviously, but you know, if they do dumb shit. And so these folks are very much moldable, and don't hesitate to really push on them because they know that's what's expected of them.
Oh, yeah, I was teaching one of your guys today how to do the all-in-one picture documented car. Like,
yes,
he was open to listening. He was very energetic about being taught things. Who was it? He was wearing a white top and he was riding along with an LSPD officer.
Probably Cole.
Probably.
Most of these people are exceptionally eager. Yeah, like I said, Cole and Wayne and Norman are the only recruits. The others are very experienced, let's just put it, but not experienced necessarily in this county. Or they were a part of the PD a while ago, like Chapman, for example.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah.
I mean,
as for
look,
someone like McAllister, to give you reference,
yeah.
Even on the small shit, he's ready to listen. And the reason I want him through Academy, because he's very sharp, but he's missing a lot of like little key details that you pick up just from being a part of a you know, local police force for months, is that he's getting humbled, right? And which is why, you know, as a separate note, I do want y'all's command to have authority over them, which is going to be a separate conversation. So
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I mean, I'm gonna be real. When I see them on scenes, I treat them like any other uniform, because if they're gonna be acting like every other uniform and just riding along with a cop and doing everything normally, then it's like.
So just to set a basis here, Crane, that's exceptionally atypical.
Okay.
These guys, when they come on duty, and I haven't seen it myself outside of like the wee early hours, because shift one we've been light on until recently.
Okay.
Some of them are doing it to pick up patrol experience, like Cole, right? He's very much an exception. But they have enough casework as it is, and any patrolling that they do, quote unquote, should be not responding to pings, but rather 911s and observing targets.
Okay, like the same way that I kind of act right now, where I monitor calls instead of directly attaching.
Yeah,
kind of just like being around, absorbing information, going to 911, going to interesting stuff.
Exactly.
Trying to gather info, but then supporting if needed, right?
I will say I've seen Marshall in every single call I've done today.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if it's me, like a bias, recency bias, but I see a lot of Marshals on calls, just like totally throwing. Yeah, all the time.
Let me know if any of them are doing it a little too much.
Well, listen, me personally, I don't care, and in fact, I'm happy to see the Marshals patrolling. I know other people feel differently, but I really don't give a fuck.
Okay.
I'm
happy to see them as long as they fucking don't.
Interesting.
Shit, basically.
Yeah,
if they're behaving well and they're doing their job, I really could care too. Give you shit so they show up and help me with the pursuit. Really,
like, my biggest concern, and I don't know how Angel feels about this. My biggest concern with Marshals is that how do I put this?
I wonder why I don't see that.
When we do an op,
I wonder if it's like a today thing.
there's things that we're doing that we would never do at like a Polito bank, right? And the reason we're doing those things is because the stakes are different, the circumstances are more dire, the situation is elevated, right? Like we're dealing with faceless, and so I've got, you know, 4 people unmarked in a van with sliding doors, and I'm gonna handbrake turn and have them deploy class 2s out the side of the van and spray down the criminals, whatever. Whereas, you know, that would never really happen in a normal call. And my only thing that I'm wary about with the Marshals is that sometimes I get the feeling that it becomes like trooper shit, but not in the funny good way, in like the trooper shit like I'm excusing my overuse of force or bad behavior kind of way.
No, that shouldn't
That's
happen.
the only thing I'm concerned about.
But the thing about people miss about trooper shit is it was only cool if it was funny, right?
Correct. That's
what
I'm
the
saying,
specific
right?
thing.
Oh,
and the
that
Marshals are
kind
not
of
really
trooper
funny.
shit.
Well, like, okay,
No.
for example, like I'll just say one thing that I was joking with McNulty about. It's not super serious, but I do have thoughts about it. Is there was a situation that, you know, basically McNulty was on a call. There was a car stopped. Someone was like getting loaded into the car, or something was happening where they were out. They got back in, and before the car started moving again, he basically put down spikes, like. And I don't know if this was like he saw something different thing or what happened, but basically it was like stationary spikes, right? And
who did this? Sorry,
McNulty. And and he's not a malicious person. He's definitely not.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's like with bad faith, or even I don't think it was a clumsy thing. I think it's just there are certain nuances that people kind of get used to, like day in and day out patrol. And when someone doesn't day in and day out patrol and they're in a different mindset, sometimes they can apply things differently, which leads to, like, you know, those weird moments. But I don't think that's very common. I think that gets solved by talking about the mindset. Yeah, he told me in the parking lot, and I'll keep fucking doing it.
I watched him do it twice. I watched him do it twice. I will say, like, that not everything people see is a problem. So, like, what you see is an issue, he probably doesn't give a single fuck about it. So.
Correct. I have always been a person who feels that
look,
when a car is,
if you're seeing
like
McNulty do stationary spikes, I definitely need to know, because I will suspend him if he doesn't give a fuck, and he can find somewhere else to.
I don't know, because and I don't have the exact context. I wasn't there, right? So someone who was there would need to describe it, because there's different variations, right?
I mean, I watched him just walk up to a car that was stationary and do that today. I just said,
did he put them like under the tires, under
in
the
very
car,
center,
in front of it?
In the middle of the car, he just walked up while I had a box.
I don't like that.
Because
in my opinion, look, this to me is the same conversation, and I'll run this by you guys as like an example of my mindset with Academy. This is the same conversation as why you don't immediately go through the armored car's trunk as soon as it disables and they swap out. It's not because it's like weird or wrong, or your whatever weird language you want to put around it, motivational context. The real reason that you shouldn't do that is because you're in a dangerous scene that is not code 4. So your immediate thought should not be looking through the trunk. It should be getting your gun out, getting to safety, getting to cover, assessing the area, listen to your team, and being tactical, right? Because that's what a cop would do. A cop would not, in the middle of a dangerous scene without sending suspects, be like, oh, let me expose myself and dig through this trunk without being able to see anything.
The only counter I'd give to that, and because I do this, is I'd want to know what I'm dealing with, because the difference between a empty trunk and a meth-filled one gives you an evaluation of what we're about to see, right?
And then there's shades of gray of this, right? Like, I'm not saying you don't do it at all. I'm saying the second the car peels off that they swapped into, I don't think it's appropriate to immediately, without any other context, like dive into the trunk of the car. For context situation, I'm talking about happened a long time ago. And someone had grappled onto a roof above us, and someone who was literally had no idea where the guy was, and the guy had an AK on his back, started going through the trunk to grab the stuff in there. And that's the kind of thing where I'm like, look, man, like, you gotta keep in mind of what's going on, you know, and how safe you are. Of course you should take weapons off someone when they're arrested and ID them, but you shouldn't do it the second you get them into cuffs and the interference gets shooed away, because at that point you're doing it solely to try to get it within the window of them being gone rather than what makes sense and is safe. That's like where I'm going with that. So
yeah, I think in general, right, there's gonna be having to filter through the, how do I put this, there's such a fine balance, right? And about cops, we need law enforcement. This is like a general issue, right? Is there's a fine needle between people enjoying themselves on duty and not being cops, and you know, wait, what were the three I was saying? Enjoying yourself on duty and acting as a cop, right?
Yes, 100%.
And
like, the greatest example I can give you, RIP to the big homie. But when Jimbo would have too many spicy waters and start pitting people in the Cara,
No, it's a good meeting for
sometimes
us.
it was funny and he
It's
was
important.
doing it because he had rapport with the person. But
I'm gonna
sometimes
talk about some
he was doing it
talking about Academy.
just because that's what he does, and it would cause like major issues, you know. So I agree. It's like there's
and we're
that
talking
fine
about
line.
stationary spikes and other stuff too. It's like a whole thing. Oh, it's a long conversation.
So
yeah, I watched McDonald's fucking do it twice, and the guy had box today.
I don't think the stationary spice thing is good when you do it under the car, primarily not because
You want to come
it's
or
like overly abusive or something, but rather it isn't safe. Like you shouldn't be right next to the car in the middle of all the bumper cars. If you're gonna spike a car that's like somewhat subdued, you should be finding the point where they're going to leave and setting up spikes and standing by them when they try to leave.
All right, on the way. See you
So
soon.
it's more about teaching the proper way to do things rather than telling someone why what they're doing is bad.
I mean, I think that me personally, when I look at these specific actions of like, you know, stationary spiking or, you know, chasing people in the specific ways, that is more just emblematic of like a mindset behind the actions problem and not the actions themselves specifically, right?
I agree
because
with
like
that.
people that have a specific mindset just don't do those things.
Right.
And you want to correct that, not necessarily the specific behavior. Like obviously,
I agree.
Like you correct the mindset and you correct the behavior. That's what I'm getting at.
It's the same thing. I agree with you. It's the same thing as multiple batons on one person, which we've talked about.
Yeah.
The way that you solve that is by establishing lines of communication with the criminals, making sure everyone understands like the expectations and how things are going to go, and then making the police understand why it's important that there be people on the perimeter with guns out and people ready to be mobile and all that, instead of like getting bloodthirsty and be like, I've been on this chase for an hour and a half, I'm gonna fucking get these guys, and then every single person starts like, you know, mosh pitting with their batons out, right? So
yeah, there's we also got the reality too. It's doom is in the air, right? So I want to kind of underline this.
Do all hands on deck. We need to help.
No, we can't, because we have to go pick up Ross, and I am going off duty in 30 minutes, and I'm not going to be able to tell you the rest of this information.
Okay,
so.
yeah, let's
If you want to go, Declan, you can.
Let's put this very much on the side, on the back burner, right? Because, and correct me if I'm wrong, these are things that should turn into reports and,
Yeah, the stuff, the encouraging stuff, should be in reports. The what not to do should be more of that other conversation.
Exactly, right? There's going to be the baseline for Academy, but point-to-point things, right? Like, if someone's doing dumb shit, right? Regardless of, let's even say we have different opinions on it, because there's going to be more than just us three weighing in, like, about how the PD should be, right? But at minimum, if we as individually see something that we think is wrong, I think that can be handled through the, notifying or letting a marshal know or letting a command member know or whatever it may be, and then it's sort of being handled on a person-to-person basis, right? And this isn't to underscore what you're saying, but rather I'm kind of pointing out, we have such a wide breadth of individuals, right? And they all have different areas that need working on. Some more than others.
Some people got the tism worse than others. That's what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
I think this stuff
yeah.
just needs to be more like remedial. Like it should be like, hey guys, look, you were failed in the past by not having like what's the right word? You know, aside from like between like the Angel era to now the Night era, there was a lot of stuff in the middle where a lot of shit happened that, you know, just wasn't well controlled or managed.
Yep.
And it feels like, you know, we just need to kind of like a refresh mentally, like, you know, forget what you think you know. Here's the way we want you to think about things, and hopefully that'll help.
Exactly. Like I'm not, you know,
Hey, squad.
How you doing, Frost?
Hey, how you doing, Knight?
I don't care if you guys want to go to this thing or not. It's up to you.
78's call?
Yeah,
Not unless they need us.
Hell yeah.
Hey, what's up, Crane?
Yo, let me ask Ventura real quick. Hey, Ventura, do you need us? Like, how dire is it? Okay, let me see.
Listen, Brian.
Okay,
I got some stuff I gotta tell you. I have a message that I'm being forced to deliver.
If you want, we can. Yeah, let's chat about it.
All right, so here's the deal. Okay, Pred wants me to try and get a meeting between you, myself, him, Frost, where he can have a genuine person-to-person conversation because he feels really shut out and he wants to fix it and he wants to talk to you like an adult. And then he also told me to tell you that if you don't agree to this conversation and you don't want to work with him, then he's going to go full Pred and go full nuclear on you and delete the Marshals from existence and ruin everything about your life and make your life a living hell.
Skip.
And I asked him if you really want me to say that to him, and he said, yes, you have to tell him. And I said, all right, if you say so.
Here's the thing, right? He's getting a taste of his own medicine. I saw what he was doing to BCSO. I saw the underhandedness with you guys. He tried to split us. Tried to drive me to start, you know, looking at you a certain way, and I refused. And, you know, I head nodded because I'm just not interested. I understand that he faces a lot of social deficiencies, like what communication actually looks like, bringing a problem up to someone when he sees it, and lacking the awareness that if you are a jerk, if you are undermining, if you have a pattern of inability to actually do your job, like focus on the department that you have been, you know, sworn to look after, but instead focus on the BCSO, focus on the Marshals, you know, people are going to stop wanting to work with you. And they're going to find a way to operate without you. And unfortunately, he's now stuck with a detectiveless, unitless, caseless department, and he is slowly falling apart. If he thinks he can take down the Marshals, especially under threats like that, he can kindly suck my dick.
You know what's,
that's fair.
So
that is
you move the car
understandable.
forward a bit.
Hey, real, can we
The
pause
door-
for 1 second?
the door
To intervene.
There you go.
So the situation in the 78s, there are 6 people on top of the paint building south of Olympic Freeway. And we are struggling to find parachutes. The only thing we can do, because there's no longer that crane, because the Crystal Casino finished construction, is we have to parachute plus hot drop plus climb the ladders at the same time. So it's going to be a fucking bloodbath.
Yeah.
Why don't we just leave?
I don't. It's a bank truck, and I don't know.
Well, we don't
I think
really
the
have that many
policy we
units,
set
and we
was
don't
that
have
we-
the equipment, so let's just leave.
No, they have units. It's just they just want everyone on hand.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm not really particularly keen on dying right now. I'd like to have this conversation and finish it. So that
We
it's
can
not
go
sitting
there,
for
and
the
if
day.
they all die, then we'll have to do something. Otherwise, we can just talk and watch. That's middle ground.
I feel like watching's even worse, no?
Yeah, it's actually kind of worse. Let's just finish this up so we don't have to keep revisiting this.
I
All right,
agree.
I guess.
Yep.
Okay, we're not going then.
Yep.
If you want to
for
go,
the-
Declan, we can drop you off and you can head down there and go
No,
help
I mean,
him out.
if we're gonna continue the conversation, I'll stay. It's fine.
Yeah, I
As for
think
that, Fred comment, that this is the conversation that me, you, him, and Rhodes had in the courthouse, where I said people will work with him if he doesn't come with ultimatums. I said it's the ultimatums that fuck him.
yes.
And then he said he learned from that. I actioned what I said I'd action. He said he'd action it on his part too. And then the first thing he does when he's unhappy is he's now given you an ultimatum to give tonight, with the choice being come
He
and
gave
work with
me
me.
an ultimatum to give
Come
Brian
and
an
work with
ultimatum.
me,
Yeah.
or I'll try and fuck the Marshals. So that whole hour conversation I had with this dumb fuck, where I actioned what I said I would with the communication, he literally has already shot to drastic ultimatums instead of, hey, Knight, I'd love to have a conversation and see if we can work things out.
Hey, Remedy,
he
can I
doesn't
call you
need
back?
to say the second part.
Yeah. Could you call me
There's
back
just
before
no
you like go to bed
there's no
tonight?
need
It's
for the
kind of
ultimatum part of the
extremely
statement,
important.
right?
Will do. Absolutely.
So
Thank you.
I'll just
Appreciate you.
I'll tell him that you're not interested in the meeting then.
It's just,
I mean,
it's so easy. If he had have just come to you now, right, with the
I can
first
ask
part.
him myself. Like, you know, like, here's the thing. I'm not really afraid of Fred. I mean, what is he gonna do? Like, go to the state and be like, hey guys, we need to get rid of the Marshals. Carmine's
no, I think
been
his
up for
plan is
ass.
to dismantle your legislation, is what he told me.
I mean, between us, it's already in the hands of the state.
Yeah, I know. That's
Look,
what I'm
look,
saying. Like,
I don't know how to put this in better words. I am not concerned at all for the future. So the thing is, Marshals aren't going away. Things aren't, you know, he can have his outbursts, this and that. But the thing is, I'm focused on the cases, getting people encouraged, involving law enforcement before both sides. And if the guy feels like, you know, wants to compare penises, like, he can keep doing that, but I'm not taking my dick out. Right? He knows how big it is.
The thing is, though, right, I'd love to work with Pred, but again, all I asked of him is no more ultimatums, right? And he just can't help himself. It has to be, if we don't do this that benefits me, I'm going to do this in an attempt to fuck you. And that isn't how anything should work.
The thing is, he's just going to constantly... You have to understand that this has been ongoing for like 2 weeks, right? And he will obsessively shit talk, do this, that, send his fucking orbiters at Ruth or myself or whatever to, like, it's just waste of time. I'm not, you know, I give a shit about my time, to be honest. You know, so spending an hour here with Carmine, another hour with Pred, and just crying and crying, or instead work cases, embolden those around us. I spoke to Carmine, had a conversation with Ruth yesterday, me the day before, about legislation, about the Marshals, and I'm like, listen, dog, we already pushed it forward to the state a month ago, so they're already behind. The newest thing is they've been looking into finances. And I'm like, well, I'm glad when Marshall showed you how to do it, because, like, you know, I'm sure you've seen the court, the case that was put up. I mean, they can do these things. I get it. They feel like, some of them may feel like they're getting excluded, but nothing stops them from starting their own investigations. Like, holy shit.
Investigation looking?
Which one?
Was into finances, right? Because it's funny you say that. Eve Summers and Dawn started their own investigation. She shared it with me, right? They have audited 138 businesses with just her and Dawn in the mayor's office.
I believe it.
That's with no detectives, no department, no big ideas. They have single-handedly, her and Eve just raw dogged through 138 businesses.
Oh.
Exactly what they are, exactly what grants they've had, why they've had the grants, how they actioned the grants. They have sent me this whole shit.
Director,
who owns it,
give me
who
just
works for
one
it.
sec, just real quick. Norman, get in touch with Ruth. There's going to be 6 separate warrants. The biggest one is Brandon Valentino. It's going to go over about 25 to 35 incidents and a shitload of charges. So I want a second set of eyes and for it to be court ready. So,
okay.
All right.
Will do.
Easy. Bye.
Yep, take care.
Sorry, he was just asking if there's anything to work on.
But yeah, they're up to 138. They're flagging everything weird. They're like finding who owns it, who works for it, what the grants have been for. Like, they're actually doing some real good fucking work.
They're doing amazing. And on a separate but related front, you know, I'm aware they're doing a really good job with that. There's conversation with both mayor's offices about effectively enacting at different